Guess who's back? Back again. Rachel Maddow's back. Tell a friend, because she will be returning to MSNBC 5 nights a week for the first 100 days of Trump's administration.
She's back.
This is us. This is our country. It's real.
So MSNBC is so desperate for ratings, they're bringing Rachel Maddow back 5 days a week just to try to get those ratings back with her. Unbelievable. Talk about desperate.
Right? We've never quite seen something like this before. But like with the corruption, the boring thing about it is that we know exactly what this leads to. Authoritarian rulers all over the world have always liked to have paramilitary, loyal but unofficial perpetrators of violence and menace to work on their behalf.
MSNBC's ratings had been plummeting since Trump's win in November.
Now, after that, Maddow will go back to hosting only on Mondays after April 30th. Things are going to change. We're already seeing the freneticism of the Trump news cycle taking over, even during the transition. We're seeing the unpredictable cadence of the way news breaks as opposed to a more competent, rational administration. So we'll see. We're trying to be ready for anything, and that's part of why we're making this change for the first 100 days. And I would defend Maddow on the basis that I think she authentically believes what she says. I don't think she is a fraud or a grifter.
In terms of the happy talk we've had on this front from the federal government, there is no sign that the Navy hospital ships that the president made such a big deal of, the Comfort and the Mercy, there's no sign that they'll be anywhere on site helping out anywhere in the country for weeks yet.
And the naval hospital ship, the USNS Comfort, you see it right there on your screen, has just docked in New York City.
A fraud or a grifter. I think that lots of people will disagree with what she says. But in Maddow's case, look, she is a progressive, liberal voice. She has been one now for many years on MSNBC. She's clearly their biggest draw by far in the ratings. The ratings go down when she's not on. None of the other shows around her can make up that deficit.
I think this is a good business decision for MSNBC. I mean, it's really on her terms. I'm sure they would like her to regularly work every night because she is the network's biggest draw. It's her choice to work less. I've had a lot of disagreements with her, particularly relating to, I think she exaggerated and overhyped the Russia stuff.
Russia, Moscow, Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians.
The Russia stuff, considerably. Her show had at the fever pitch of that, a sort of inevitability to the criminal charges of Trump for Russia stuff, that if you watched, it was like watching some thriller, and a lot of that did not materialize, and again, I would argue was not that the Russians didn't try to interfere, but it was exaggerated the level of Russian influence actually mattering in terms of how it went down. That's not a criticism unique to me. A lot of people have had that to say. A lot of left people have had that to say.
Well, exactly.
There's a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. Donald Trump did win all of the toss-up states. He would still lose.
Right now, a historic moment. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. CNN projects Donald Trump wins the presidency. Donald Trump elected president of the United States.
Sorry. That does it for us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Now it is time for the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell, where he is live in Brownsville, Texas.